our county commissioners and Judge Lloyd, they make decisions for our county for your glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. Thank you, Chaplain. Agenda item number 1, recognize Steve Bird of the Linebarger Law Firm to address the Orange County Commissioners Court on an update report of delinquent tax collection activities.
Thank you, Judge. This was an update on 2 hours of the positions reports to let you know what we've been doing, how things have been going. I did prepare a report that we should have in front of you. I just like to know some of that and highlight some of it. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer those at any point. So what happens is once a month we receive a computer update from Karen at her office, telling us what to do, how much you still owe, who the taxpayers are, gives us all that information. So with that, we were able to take a lot of great information from that. And the first chart, what we've done is we've broken that down just by property type. So you can see there that, for example, 82% of the property that has outstanding taxes due to Orange County is real property. 1.4% is mineral. So just give us an idea of where that property is. The chart that follows that breaks that out by dollar amount. This is all based upon a check we received on September 28th. At that point in time, the county was on $3.4 million. It had 9,447 accounts. That means we had 3.4 million was divided up between those 9,400 accounts in some form of fashion. So the second chart tells me it's a little tax. You'll see, for example, mineral property of the 9,400 accounts, 9%, or 150 million is a mineral tax. Well, if you come back to the chart before that, only 1.4% of the dollars are mineral tax. So that means we have a lot of very small mineral tax of $1, $5, $10, $3 tax. So that makes up a big portion of the world, as well as the manufactured homes, more or less the same situation as in. That computer check we received also has a lot of information as far as whether or not a property is in bankruptcy, a payment agreement, if we filed a lawsuit, if there's a deferral. So we categorize it by that because it helps us determine what we need to do to the account. Obviously, if we're attaching bankruptcy, there's not a lot we can do. If it's actually the profile, there's nothing we can do with that. So we need to learn that information. So the chart that appears on page 4 will break that out for us. And from there, it tells us that there's, for example, 229,000 payment agreements, 1,754 have street bound. So it really helps us analyze that loan so we know where to spend our time. The final pie chart that appears on page 5 makes us totals down by dollar amount. And what this helps us make sure we're doing is that we're filing lawsuits and making judgments against the taxpayers that owe the most. I don't think it's in anyone's interest to take a judgment and Paul Lawson has been someone that they owe $50. The best way Paul Lawson takes a judgment is someone that owes $5,000. And so, this stuff gets insurance, that's exactly what we're doing. The bar chart on page 6, this times into an idea of our collections over the last 4 Christian years. We have the revenue last year, it was up about 5-6% revenue from our perspective. As long as we can continue that trend, we're making progress. So, if you're interested about that report, I'm happy to clarify this one.
On the trend so far has been increasing from 14 to 18, on this last page 6. I'm going to assume that the 17-18 year did not take into account Harvey. That was at the very end of that fiscal year. Do you have any idea what the impact of that's going to be on the 18-19 that we're looking at?
Well, I mean, in fact, it does take that into account, Judge. I mean, these are real dollars that came in August of 17 and July, I mean, in September of 17.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, we're seeing, and that's one reason I feel really good about the numbers we have for 17-18, because I need to imagine, September and October of 2017, we got that good, election-wise. I mean, that was right after Harvey, that was right after everybody really didn't have a lot of tax, so we still managed to increase the revenue even during that year. Yeah. We made up a lot of ground after that, so.
I would anticipate that number to probably go down, you think, in this coming year because of some of the, actually it was attached to SBA loans and FEMA documents that you could have outstanding tax liens, so I'm sure people have paid a lot of that. So,
well, that's what it is, Commissioner. I mean, I think some of the bump we saw in November, December, and January, well, it was all from people that had insurance proceeds or whatever, pilot tax and tax, we had to take care of it.
Yeah. So we saw that little bit of climb there, so I would anticipate a decline this year.
Well, I'm not doing that far yet, no thing. I mean,
you're not gonna give it up yet.
No, we still have a long time left, and we're sure making a lot of efforts to make sure it stays up at that level.
Karen? Well, while we're on this subject, do you have an idea, and I may be catching you off guard, I didn't ask you earlier, but about how many properties Orange County has available right now?
As far as,
that are done, we can sell them now.
in trust?
We probably got, after what I have today, and next, I'm gonna bring one for sure next week. And as I was leaving, I had some more bids come in, probably about 10.
Wow.
So it's just pretty small inventory.
That's pretty good on moving those.
It really is.
Because we were up to, what, at least in the 40s at one point.
It was, we had quite a bit.
Wonderful.
I remember times when we had hundreds. So we really try to manage that carefully. And, excuse me, one thing we've done recently is we've held auctions to help you sell that stuff. We haven't been very successful. And that kind of brings me to item number 2 on the agenda. I'm not sure if we're ready to do that yet.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I'm trying to segue into that. I'm not as good as Dan at all that.
Segue in. One question I have, I say that we got 1,500 manufactured homes, over 1,500, and if I do my math, for about less than $200 a piece, average. I guess, trying to figure out what you do we have any idea if any of those are inhabited or uninhabited? I mean, is there any way to know?
No, it's not doing that. It's just in this way and this way. But the problem we see, and also in the appreciate, I'm sure, is after the hurricane, and the damage that was done to a lot of those have been abandoned. And, you know, it's an issue, and we're trying to address it as we can, but, you know, it's hard to put a lot of manpower behind just that issue. You know, we have to also do other things as well, they're more productive, financially.
I just think some of those are write-offs that we're never gonna see again, so I didn't know if there was a way to identify the ones that have been abandoned, so. Okay. I get a projection on what our future sales are gonna be, because those are probably gonna come up with tax sales.
Some abandoned are out there, but Steve, I have a question, on me. If the financial incentive is not there for the firm to file the lawsuit, move forward, what suggestions do you have? Because they're gonna be there.
And those manufactured homes?
Yeah, some of the ones,
Specifically.
well, whether it's a manufactured home, whether it's a brick and mortar, whatever it may happen to be, I mean, it's still, if the financial incentive is not there for your firm to move forward, we're still gonna have them on our tax roll, we're still gonna do something with it. What would you suggest?
Well, that's what I'm saying, I know that you think we're not doing something to try to collect it, I mean, we are. I mean, there's some point that we have to make a decision, whether we file a lawsuit against an abandoned, dilapidated mobile home that has $400, or, you know, a home that's up and productive and has 8,000, and, you know, it's a problem, so I have it as an answer for you. I mean, I think it's something that, as you go down this one and appreciate, and you identify those that are in that type of situation, somebody needs to provide that information to us, and we can follow up as quickly as possible, and try and take a judgment for closure. Again, that judgment doesn't really address the issue of the mobile home, you know. If it's abandoned, it's dilapidated, a judgment's not going to remove it. We found often that contacting the property owner, the person who owns the real property, is one way to help by someone that has additional incentive to do something about it as well. Sometimes there'll be someone that owns the real estate, but they don't own the mobile home, they're living out and have a child or someone that was in them there, you know, it's now abandoned, dilapidated, taxes on the land are paid, not on the mobile home. So that presents a whole set of different issues, but, yeah, I think there's always the issues.
On the manufactured homes in Orange County, do we have an idea how many of those they're sitting on the property, it's owned by the same person? Maybe that 1,500, I wouldn't know off the top of my head, so that's what we could find out. I mean, it may be worth it, I'll tell you why I'm asking. Clark and I actually walked the property, gosh, I can't remember the name of the street we were on, we went so many places. Was that Mesquite, where the back of it butted up to that, where they're doing the logging? And if we could have leverage on the people that own the property, if they're willing, which they probably would be, that would be a great area to cut in some drainage, and the drainage district was on board with that. So sometimes there's advantages for the county and for the drainage district that don't have anything to do with money, but they do have to do with drainage of property. And they're already working with the fellow in the back that's clearing, so if we can connect those 2 points. So sometimes it might be worth it, from a different point of view than just getting the property in trust and selling it. And if we can get the easement while we still own it, then the easement can go with the property. Something else to think about when y'all are looking at the properties.
Yeah, if someone tries something like that, you provide us information, we can follow up appropriately.
Well, it's kind of hard though, because we don't know if they're abandoned, but they're not in y'all sites because the taxes have been paid.
Well, but by providing us an address or something,
Okay.
we can track that down.
Okay, maybe we'll start with that one and see how it works out, Clark. If you could look up that address we were at, sorry, I didn't even remember the street. Is there anything else? Any other questions, y'all do? Okay. Well, that brings us to agenda item number 2, discussion and possible action adopting a resolution to provide online auctions for the tax foreclosure sales and resales and adopt rules governing same, all pursuant to 3401 of the Texas Property Tax Code. If this is adopted, the resolution states, whereas the Texas Property Tax Code hereinafter TPTC Section 3401A1 allows the Commissioners Court of a county to authorize the online auction of tax foreclosure sales and to adopt rules governing those online auctions, and such rules taking effect on the 90th day after the date the rules are published in real property records of the county, and whereas it is in the public interest and in the interest of the officer conducting the sale to allow for the online auction of tax foreclosure sales and to adopt rules governing online auctions to efficiently sell properties to persons who will pay taxes on the property in the future and to obtain the proceeds from the sale of such property, and if it's resolved, that we would adopt this policy. I'm sorry, I got to reading real fast. That we would adopt this policy. Would you like to discuss the advantages, disadvantages of going this way, what you're looking at?
Well, the legislature, as I mentioned last month, provided this as an option. And in order for us to even decide to want to have that option, we have to have laws adopted by the Commissioners Court, and those reported in the county clerk's office. So, I think it does allow us the ability to market to a much wider range of people, and essentially has a real positive impact on our ability to resell these properties and to move them. So, I mean, I think it's worth at least exploring the option. I mean, you have a demonstration scheduled for tomorrow that will allow us to more evaluate the process and see if it's a good fit for us. I'm talking to him about it,
I think it's going to be a good idea. You know, it will broaden our,
Customer base?
thank you.
It will give more people access to know what the properties are, what's available out there, give them a chance to bid on it if they want.
And maybe the possibility of moving to Orange.
Hello? Would y'all like me to read over the rules pertaining to this, so that everybody's aware of them, because I think this is the only copy we got. Okay. There are 16 rules, so bear with me, I'll try to get through them fairly quick. In accordance with 3401A1 TPTC, the following rules would be adopted by the Commissioners Court if this is approved. The implementation of tax foreclosure sales using online auctions for bidding and sale. 1, all online tax sales and resales shall comply with these rules and the rules and procedures outlined under Chapter 34 of the TPTC. 2, tax foreclosure and tax resale property may be sold at public auction using online bidding. Such properties may be sold as provided for by the online auction service provider and in accordance with Chapter 34 of the TPTC. 3, the online auction service provider is hereby authorized to administer the online sale on behalf of the officer charged with conducting the sale, including receiving online bids and receiving and disbursing sale proceeds. 4, to be eligible to bid at a sale or resale, a person must fill out and submit to the Orange County Tax Office a request for written statement verifying that the bidder does not owe any delinquent tax county. A fee for processing this statement may apply and must be paid directly to the Orange County Tax Office according to their policies. 5, to be eligible to bid at a sale or resale, a person must register as a bidder on the online bidding platform where the bidding and sale will take place. 6, prior to placing a bid in an online auction, a deposit is required in the form of counter deposit via cash, certified funds, wire transfer, ACH debit transfer in the amount equal to 5% of the total bid amount for all properties for which the bidder intends to bid for that auction. A bidder will not be able to participate in an auction until funds have been verified and added to the bidder's available balance. The remaining balance of the winning bid must be received within 24 hours of the close of the online auction. At the discretion of the bidder, unused deposits can be refunded to the bidder or can remain in the bidder's escrow account for future auctions. Number 7, failure to pay the balance of the winning bid or complete the purchase within 24 hours of the close of the online auction will result in a forfeited bid. If the bidder fails to complete the purchase by the deadline, the deposit will be applied pursuant to Section 3402 of the TPTC. 8, online bidders may place bids of any amount higher than the minimum opening bid or the current high bid in increments of $100 or as indicated for each property in the online bidding platform. Number 9, minimum bid of a property to be sold under these rules shall include an additional online auction fee of $300 for costs and fees associated with the online auction, such amount to be assessed as an expense of foreclosure sale to be paid by the winning bidder. 10, each successful bidder must provide payment in full for the amount of the successful bid price through the online auction website or as directed by the officer conducting the sale, using wire transfer or ACH payment within 24 hours of the close of the online sale. 11, any property that is not paid in full by the successful bidder in the time allowed by these rules may be auctioned again at a later date. 12, all purchasers will receive an ordinary type of sheriff's deed that is without warranty, expressed or implied. All properties sold in a tax sale or resale are sold as is, where is, without warranty, to the highest bidder on a buyer beware basis. 13, all property purchased at an online sale may be subject to a statutory right of redemption as set out in the TPTC. 14, current year taxes may not be part of the opening bid calculation and would be a separate liability of the successful bidder because of the lien created by the attachment of those taxes to the subject property. 15, the officer conducting the sale may remove properties from the online auction at any time. 16, all completed sales are final. Questions or concerns about those rules?
So deposits, I can't use credit cards, so it's gotta be cash transfer, correct, or did I misread that?
No, I believe it does allow for a debit card.
Yeah, debit, but not a credit card.
That's right.
Okay. In 24 hours, I'm assuming we're not gonna have any bids closed on a Friday, so.
No, that's right. We have to close on Tuesday. Yeah.
There's a $300 online auction fee. Where does that $300 go?
Yeah, it goes to service company that provides an online platform.
Okay, so that's not gonna be a percentage base or anything?
No,
like that?
it's a platform.
Who's gonna procure that organization? Us?
The vendor will pay that at the time they're paying the property. And what happens is, the vendor goes to the online auction platform company.
So we secure the online auction company?
No, we have a relationship with them.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Yes, sir, I've heard those.
Connie? You okay with that? I mean, as far as how that's gonna go through any...
I think the reason he's asking is because the last time we were in court, it was discussed using Renee Baters,
Yeah.
who is already our online service provider, and that's, I sent you a message, that they already have an established relationship with somebody else other than who the county already uses, and I didn't know if everybody was on the same page as far as who that service provider was gonna be, whether we had the option of choosing, or whether it had to be who they had a relationship with. That's an open question.
I'm sorry, I didn't look at the same line, I thought they all got it.
Oh, yes. And I'll tell you at least one difference is that Renee Bases, they will do the online auction for real estate, and theirs is a 5% fee as opposed to a flat 300 fee, which is what Real Auction, their provider, uses.
And also too, apparently, if you don't make minimum bid on it, they're gonna reject that automatically?
Yes.
And rebid it, so is that $300 charged again?
Okay, when you have a proposal, for tax properties, we're required by statute to have a minimum bid. If that bid's not received, we can't accept any offers. That's fine.
So there's no $300 a session?
Yes, sir, that's right.
Okay.
You said the 5%. What if the bid gets to a level that would exceed that 5%? Would it, I mean...
Okay, we're out in the company that we work with is not charged 5%. I just got to say.
Yeah,
He's
talking about numbers.
So there's a
He's talking about the 5% deposit.
You're not gonna know what the bid is going in.
No, you're
So
right.
you could, so what happens if that 5%?
I think we're expecting a good base estimate of what the compensation will be. I mean, if you go over that by $1,000, you're not going to tip you off. There is some things in transaction.
So 5% in good faith?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
5% of the base.
Yeah, I apologize for this, I'm talking about the fee.
No, I was talking about having that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep, it's like in the group that you're using for your, I guess it's real auctions.
Yes, sir.
Is theirs a negotiable? I mean, it's a 300 to do it? Because my concern with the 300 is sometimes we have properties that are $1,100, $1,200 that we get on bid. You know, I mean, they're low bids, and then we're giving up a quarter of it right off the bat to the service. So how's that?
No, it's on top.
No, it's on top.
Okay, so they have to, so whatever we get the bid in, so I guess, okay, I didn't understand it right.
Yeah, it's more like a bonus premium.
I got you.
Is this our copy? Can we have this?
So the bidder's aware of that at that point?
Yeah, it actually spells it out here.
In there.
In addition.
In addition.
So what's the name of the?
Yes, at the end?
No.
No, that's...
And one thing to keep in mind there also is different, I mean, I think there's also something, no sort of is that the county has. It's what meant, is that right?
Yes. Although Connie has already contacted them about whether or not they would do real property, and they've given her an outline of what information they would require. So they will do, Renee Bates will do the real property, and they've communicated with us what they would require to do that.
For the 5%.
I'm sorry?
5%.
Is their commission, their pay.
And so that would be in addition to the 300, which is in addition to the...
No,
300 is real, two different providers.
Yeah.
One thing that I think, if I understood what we were talking about before with Renee Bates, would be, since theirs is a percentage, it would come out of what the bidder pays.
Yeah.
So if they bid 10,000, then 5% of that would come out of what they pay. Yours, on the other hand, is a $300 flat fee, which is added on top of whatever the winning bid is.
Well, I think there was another thing that we need to distinguish it also. I mean, all property, all real estate auction involves taxable funds and properties only. Okay? I'm not sure that the regulations are aware of some of the limitations that apply. And they're not really, I just want to know, to attach foreclosed property when you're selling that. It's not the same as if the county has a piece of property that you're trying to overlay, and you're trying to auction that. So there's,
How long are we locked into this contract? If we were to vote to do this, is there a minimum term that we'd be locked in?
With who?
Going through,
Well, I'm not aware that there's no contract between us and Real Auction. We're just, what he's asking is for the court to authorize their firm to do this as part of what they're already doing with the tax sale.
how long would we be locked in to doing it that way? Could we, next week, we could vote to...
Well, and that was gonna be one of my questions, is who has the authority to say which properties will or won't, and at what point we say, this is not good for us, we'd like to no longer do this. Because you're giving them authority to do it, but...
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we have to do something that's not worse than And Karen, under her umbrella, has ultimate say on things. I mean, if she's not happy with the process, this doesn't work, and...
If we go that way, I would assume that we think it's the way to go. But, 2 months in, we said, this is not really working right, we had more issues than we thought we were gonna have. We withdraw immediately.
Just don't have to do it. I mean, by adopting this, it doesn't mean we're gonna automatically use the online option.
I think it's actually covered in the rules of the resolution on 15. The officer conducting the sale may remove properties from the online auction at any time, which would mean if for some reason the court or a tax assessor had a problem with it, you'd simply remove all the properties and we would effectively be out of it.
Right.
Then we would probably have to vote to rescind the resolution as a permanent measure.
Yeah.
But effectively, we'd be out there if she removed all the properties.
I mean, the resolution itself doesn't mean we're committed to actually doing an online auction.
Just gives us the authority.
Okay.
Stephen,
Yeah.
so if you read the first,
Ma'am, I'm sorry, we have trouble if you don't come to, that's recording.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Danielle Meadows, also assist Steve Bird. I'm out of the Beaumont office. I'm one of the attorneys that assist Steve here in Orange County. But just to help provide some clarification, as Steve has already mentioned, Section 34.01 allows us and the Commissioner's Court to decide on whether or not you want to do an online auction. So if you read up here, it says that we might do tax foreclosure sales, the original sale, or we can do the resale. You are not going to be, from what I understand, our fund is still exploring this with real auction. You are not bound to do it that one way, just forever. So say, for instance, if Karen, because she is the tax assessor collector, she's the person that gets to decide what properties go, what properties don't go. I don't know if this microphone's probably me.
Okay.
But, so don't feel like you're going to be boxed in. It is something that we want to try with Orange County because Karen has expressed this to us. Real Auction and several other auction and online companies have been at various of the conferences that we've attended and that Karen attended last year. So this is something that we are bringing to you all, one, because it's something that she wants to explore, but it also gives Orange County visibility, not just here in the county, but abroad. So if you have any questions moving forward, in terms of which property is going to be placed on there or not, then your proper person for contact will be Karen, and then therefore us. Any other questions? And so it wouldn't be necessarily you have to do all your regular sales through online auctions, and it wouldn't be that you have to do all your resales. You can put a couple of properties, and it's only 10 in the bank, right? So you can put 5 up on listing if you wanted to, just to test it out, but you wouldn't be bound from what I'm understanding. Moving forward. It depends on, how you all feel about it. Because what we try to do at Lombard is make sure that we are presenting something to you that works for the county, not just for our entire firm.
You actually answered, I had 2 questions. You answered one already, which is their minimum number of properties. The second...
Well, they would probably ask that, they'll probably be able to better answer that tomorrow when they do their online demo.
The other question was, real simple. If we decided to go with this, is there any cost to the county?
No, and that's why we put it in here particularly, and this is something we're actually going to be talking about the rest of this week with our firm meeting that we're having in Houston starting tomorrow. You're not going to be bound to pay a particular percentage. That's why they're passing the cost on to the bidder. And that's what generally we try to do with anything that we're collecting with our firm. We try not to put the burden back on the county. We try to make the person responsible, who is responsible, generally the taxpayer, and if not, whoever is the bidder. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's what Tony said.
Right, so that's the $300 would go on top of it, but you all will still receive your fee versus the 5% that is actually going to come out of what Renee Bates is offering. So that's the difference that you want to be aware of. We try to make sure that we make the county whole, not take from the county. And something that Steve said also, when it comes to the taxes, that's our specific business. This is what we do. We don't handle anybody else's property. If it's a JP Court just selling property out there and they're doing foreclosures on the first Tuesday of the month, we don't deal with that. We deal specifically with delinquent property taxes, specifically with delinquent tax foreclosures.
So I don't know what Renee Bates might offer you all, but you might need to explore that, but that's our industry. Everything having to do with the tax code, we deal with that. So we know the pitfalls that are there, and any questions that might arise, we'll be able to better answer that, because that's what we specialize in across the entire state of Texas. Any questions?
Just on, go ahead, just on a, sort of a 10,000-foot view perspective on this, there's a 5% that you're talking about that's required, right? Right, 5% to register. Okay, I mean, but if it's digitally done, if it's digitally monitored, if it's digitally transacted, everything's taken care of, then it's got to close within 24 hours. Why are we going to end up putting a 5% burden on top of these individuals that just want to bid on a $1,000 piece of property? They got to go through this bid process, secure the 5% up front, versus they can just submit their bid, be done with it, and if they get paid within 24 hours, we get paid within 24 hours, it's done. If not,
Well, I think the reason that I was willing to bid to invest in the process. I mean, if you do it without requiring that for information, there are a lot of people that don't have to.
Weed out some of the...
Yeah, but here's the problem with that. I've been through the auctions before, and one of the problems with not putting something like that there, you end up with bids that are not honest bids.
Right.
And they drive things up, and then you have to work backwards later, and you have a property that sold for 20 grand, and the last 15 bids are shills. They never had any intention of following through on it. We don't want to have that happen. We want people that are serious about purchasing property. I think that's how normal auctions, that's why they charge that fee.
But the fee is still gonna come out of whatever
And
you
it's-
pay.
yeah.
Yeah, that 5% is going to be applied to the bid. So if they bid 1,000, they've already paid 5% of that, so.
It's just that if they decide not to follow through, and they didn't do their part, basically we're looking for serious bidders, because that's what the county wants, right? So, if they didn't follow through, then those monies will be allocated, based on the tax code, and so the district clerk will get paid, the sheriff's office will get paid, everybody, the court costs will get paid June 1st, according to the distribution list that's in the tax code. But, so that just makes sure that we're able to get serious bidders and people who are not just getting there like you just said, drive up the price, for no reason. You really want people who are in there and they're gonna be ready to pay.
Or people that bid and then it told me, maybe they're honest bidders, and then they just fly afterwards, oh, I really don't want that, I'm just self-competitive. And then, they have no sort of thinking to it.
We did it 20 times, we got our money. One question I have is really more internal than for them, is if we don't go 100% online, then I need to know something about the rules, how we're gonna pick and choose which properties we put online, which ones we don't.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're not going down the line.
Internally, we have to have some kind of rules in place on how we're gonna do it, unless our intent is to put all 100% of them online.
Well, I guess part of that would depend on the rules on the auction site itself, which would be, once a property is placed on the auction site, how long does it go before that bid process is up?
Well, the bid process has to end on the first Tuesday of every month.
Oh, okay.
We're still bound by that.
So we leave it over there, I guess, until we got a bid.
Well, I guess we could put whatever properties we wanted to on the first Wednesday of a month and let it run then for a month.
Yeah.
And then the next Tuesday, we can decide if we want to take them off, leave them on, whatever we want to do.
But it's just, like I said, it's just a question on if we're not gonna put 100%, we need to have some rules in place on how we're gonna try to...
I said, we're talking two different things here.
Right.
I mean, but this is close.
In terms of the retail versus sales, or? Okay, so generally, at least in my county, Jefferson County, we normally do a tax sale, right? The first tax sale, that's normally the first Tuesday of every month. And then you can do subsequent resales. What we're saying, and what this also states, I want to actually point you to it, let me see. Okay, so in the resolution portion, the third paragraph on the first page, it says that, therefore be it resolved that Orange County, Texas does hereby allow for the online auction for tax foreclosure sales and resales and does hereby adopt the following rules. So, we generally do, like I said, the general sale first, then it can be followed by a resale a month later or 2 months later. If you all didn't feel as comfortable, you know, the first time around, but you can just do it with a resale if you have property out there.
That's what I was trying to, is there's different timelines to a regular sale and a resale. Once we have a resale property, we're not really limited by how long we've been having up there. But when we have a resale flat sale, we're limited by how long we've been having up there.
So, this would be the safety net for the sale. If you don't like what we have in a sale, we go to the resale? Or if it doesn't sell on the sale, we go to the resale?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Eventually.
100% of properties.
I think it was, decided per month, or per, however often she wants to.
Well, the other thing, I guess that's my point, we got to have something in place that dictates how we do that.
And to that point, because I know, because I'm kind of looking at Karen too, and she's got the same question look on my, I think we need some more information. So is it possible that we could kind of, maybe no action this today, and do a short workshop before court next week, to where we can kind of get some of the questions that I think that you probably have, and I think we all have about, like, do you, I mean, I'm just sure, are you good, because it's, do you mind if I ask Karen a question?
Y'all are trying to get confused.
Yeah.
Y'all make it more confusing.
Well, that's the thing, the longer we go, the more confusing it gets. Hold on a second.
Have any conversations.
I'm not confused. Let me ask Karen a question, please, real quick, because this goes to Commissioner Trahan's point.
Yeah.
If you want to have something in place, these 10 properties or so that we have,
Yes.
do have, and look, I'm not gonna hold you to a date, I'm just trying to make a point. The newest property we have acquired, when I say newest, I mean since we've acquired it. How long ago did we acquire the latest one?
We had our last sale last September, okay?
No, I mean acquired through back taxes, through the trust.
Which ones are not eligible for sale?
September 4th.
So, September 4th was the last time we acquired a property that's on your list.
Yes.
So what we could easily say is, do you want to go with the old-fashioned way of, which isn't bad, I'm just trying to designate it, the old-fashioned way of how we sold, if that property hasn't sold within 30 days, then put those on the auction.
100% of it.
100% of them.
I'm
I was
okay with
gonna put 100% of them anyhow,
Well,
because I'd rather
They just
put
made a comment, you
100%
put
of them.
5 of the 10, and that's when I started thinking, okay, how do we, what's the policy,
that's
thinking the 5?
Yeah, well,
No.
because currently, when you do one, you bring it to the court for approval.
Right.
So if we go to online bid auction, at what point is that one the final? Because it wouldn't be coming to us at that point, would it?
Because it would go-
Online bid would have already been taken place.
It would go for sale first, at the end of that 30 days, then it would go to resale, which is the online auction, correct?
Right.
And we would have no approval on that.
Yeah, we'll have the regular tax sale, like we normally do,
Right.
okay? And then 30 days after the tax sale, we will have the sealed bids, which is what I normally bring, okay? And then they will become available to the online. And then the online, which from there, that's where we're gonna learn more tomorrow in regards to, the procedure as to what's gonna go on, because I do believe, I'm understanding that, once it's been accepted through the bid, we still have to bring it to y'all
That's right.
for your final approval.
That's right.
Okay? Then once y'all make the final approval, then I contact the auction people, and they let the bidder know, and we get the money that way.
From my standpoint, as long as we say that once all properties that clear the sale go to resale, we're not gonna, pick this one and this one and this one.
No.
And there's no rulemaking that needs to be done.
No, all property is going for sale.
Because they said something about 5 of the 10
Yeah, that's
properties,
what
we're gonna pick 5 of the 10.
No, that was just as an example.
All right.
No, all property has gone online. Because, I want it back on the tax roll. That is my main concern. I want everything going back, on the tax roll. Because as long as they sit in our trust, we don't make any money off of
I'm
it.
with you on that.
And I want the entities to be making money.
That is my job. And that's what I want, is I'm gonna put these properties out of ours, back into them.
Plus, we got a lot of people needing a
Any more
place to live.
questions? Can I make it easier for you?
No, that helps me.
I think it helps a lot when you talk, because we tend to make it complicated, and then you kind of simplify it out a little bit.
Yeah, we can make it as clear as mud right here, easy. Just give us a second.
Help with that too?
That's right, Mike, 'cause I just didn't want to get in a position of picking and choosing.
That was my...
Well, yeah, and it sounds to me like that solved that problem. Well, I know that I've read through the whole thing, and I've had a couple of different conversations with Mr. Byrd and Ms. Fisher about this, and I kind of have my questions answered. I would make a motion that we accept the resolution as read and allow them to move forward with the online auctions for real property in Orange County.
I'll second that.
And if we take, if the court takes affirmative action on this vote to accept this resolution to allow them to move forward with this, then anytime in the future, we're gonna have to rescind this resolution or take affirmative action to negate this resolution to get this taken off, correct?
Well,
It's not gonna
permanently, I think
expire,
that's...
there's no contract.
Permanently, I think that's right. As they said, they can pull all properties at any time, and then the following court, we could go ahead and rescind it permanently.
Well, it's, yeah, because it says...
Number 15, I believe it is.
It says the officer conducting the sale may remove properties from the online auction. It says may.
Yeah.
And we're already in contract with their company who's going to be managing this. So, this is basically another function that you offer with what you do. We're not contracting with a new company, we're simply allowing them to use another tool that they have.
They already have in their system.
Right.
That's what they're exploring.
Right, and if it doesn't work for us, Ms. Fisher can pull all the properties, and then if you want to officially remove the resolution in the future, we probably could. Am I legally correct on that?
Yes.
Any other questions? Okay, Judge in one? Okay, two? Aye. Judge, aye, three? Four?
No.
Number 3, discussion and possible action regarding approval of the 2019 Orange County Resolution for Indigent Defense, for the Indigent Defense Grant Program. Sorry, am I reading it? Jennifer's not here? Okay. The resolution reads, whereas, under the provisions of the Texas Government Code, Section 79.037, and the Texas Administrative Code, Chapter 173, counties are eligible to receive grants from the Texas Indigent Defense Commission to provide improvements in the indigent defense services in the county. And whereas this grant program will assist the county in the implementation and the improvement of the indigent criminal defense services in this county, and whereas Orange County Commissioners Court has agreed that in the event of loss or misuse of the funds, Orange County Commissioners Court assures that the funds will be returned in full to the Texas Indigent Defense Commission.
Nobody's on, talk on it.
This is administered by Brenda Mowers, by the court administrator, and with administration also being done at the end of the year and throughout the payment process for the indigent defense through the auditor's office.
And this is no changes from our previous ones, agreements, right?
This was not given to me for review, I have not seen this.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're the only lawyer in the world that works directly for the county, so I'm trying to use the force here.
As you read it, was the first time I'm hearing it, so
What's the grant amount? Is it determined?
No, it doesn't say a determination of the grant amount in the resolutions. Hold on a second, let me see what I've got here. I assume I only have what you guys have.
It is a reimbursement grant, I can tell you that.
Have y'all looked through this one?
Is it 100% reimbursement?
Well, I didn't print it out, but I can...
For their share.
It is a reimbursement of the attorney fees for particular cases that are available to that.
Is it actually a set amount?
It does mention that there is a deadline that Linda, the court administrator's office, is trying to meet. Do y'all have this?
I don't have it, that's why.
I'll show you everything I got.
And historically, we've always approved it,
But it doesn't list an amount.
And we
Of
didn't...
course, since it's a reimbursement, I guess it wouldn't.
Yeah.
Depending on how much we use.
I believe it's an up to a certain amount.
This doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't state the changes.
So they have a clawback clause in there.
I think they always have.
Yeah, they do. I think I'm always seeing one, all of them.
We this is one of these things that there may be more eligible, but we need to,
Doesn't have any of the details on any of the changes, if there were any.
Okay.
You see the clawback from misuse or loss. Yeah, that's how we expect that anything you do, that's standard.
Yeah.
And I'm not aware of paying any clawback ever.
Yeah, we don't have a share in it, so.
I'm not aware of it.
Well, I move we go ahead and accept the resolution as read for the 2019 Orange County Indigent Defense Grant Program.
Second that, Judge.
Judge 3, 1,
Hey.
2.
Aye.
Judge I, 3, 4.
Aye.
So be it resolved in order that the county judge of this county is designated as the authorized official to apply for, accept, decline, modify, or cancel the grant application for the Indigent Defense Formula Grant Program and all other necessary documents to accept said grant, and further be it resolved that the Orange County Auditor is designated as the financial officer for this grant. Number 4, discussion and possible action authorizing county treasurer to process payroll for pay period ending October 21st, 2018, including all supporting payroll liabilities and garnishment orders.
Yeah. So moved.
Second.
4 and 1. 1?
Hey.
2? Aye. Judge, aye. 3? 4?
Aye.
Number 5, discussion and possible action regarding approval of the monthly reports from the county treasurer for the month ending September 30th, 2018, and recording in the minutes of the court. A, approval of investments in the amount of $117,296.70. B, approval of interest earned to date in the amount of $210,833.16. C, treasurer's report of revenues received and disbursed in accordance with Local Government Code 114.026. Sub D, an affidavit of approval by the court. This report will be available on the county's website for viewing. D, pledged security collateral for a total of $95,320,217.10. Summary as follows. Wells Fargo Bank, $84,373,627.97. First Financial Bank, $10,946,589.13. Was I adding too much money in, or taking too much out?
So moved, yes.
Second.
3 and 1. 1,
Hey.
2, aye. Judge, aye. 3, 4. Number 6, discussion and possible action regarding filing in the minutes of the county treasurer's quarterly investment report as required by HB 2459 Public Funds Investment Act. This report is for quarter ending September 30th, 2018, and will be available for viewing on the county's website.
Move we accept the report, Judge.
Okay. 4,
Second.
3, 1,
Hey.
2, aye. Judge, aye. 3, 4,
Aye.
Number 7, discussion and possible action regarding authorizing the issuance of an $8 million Orange County Tax and Revenue Anticipation Notes, Series 2018. This item requires the recommendation of the county auditor, see Chapter 1431, Texas Government Code.
Judge Commissioners, I have given you a letter with my recommendation stating under Texas Government Code, Chapter 1431.02, the Commissioners Court has the authority to issue anticipation notes by order on the recommendation of the county auditor or the county budget officer as applicable, or the governing body of an eligible countywide district. In accordance with Section 1431.002 of the Texas Government Code, I hereby recommend that the Commissioners Court of Orange County, Texas, proceed with an order to authorize the issuance of anticipation notes filed Orange County, Texas, Tax and Revenue Anticipation Notes 2018 on this 23rd day of October 2018.
This loan we are discussing, and I'm using the term loosely, just to save time. This was, the information was turned in by Wells Fargo. It's my understanding that they have given us a couple of different options. The one that looks like it would be the most, well, cost us the least would be the, and correct me if I'm wrong, would be the recommendation of the treasurer to an interest rate of 1.20 over LIBOR, which currently is 2.2865, for a total interest rate of 3.4865. Is that correct?
Yes.
Would you present some of the details and findings you had for the court? I would remind the court also that part of the reason we're looking at this is for this final calendar quarter, so time is kind of the essence in what we choose to do. The $8 million is not necessarily the entire amount that we're going to need. It might be, we might need less, we will not need more.
But they did send me in writing that there's not going to be any penalties for prepayment or to pay off early. Of course, I think the maturity date was February, we got to February, but of course we'll pay interest on the full amount for February. But we went with a higher spread on the interest rate to waive the $5,000 fee. With it being such a short term and, they had a fee for this, that we're still going to have to pay the fee to the Attorney General and the fee to the bond counsel, which is going to be $8,000, or it has been in the last 3 years. It's been $8,000 for the Attorney General and for the bond counsel.
We're paying interest on the whole amount whether we use it or not?
No. It's set up as a draw. Now, the initial, upon the closing date, they're automatically gonna, deposit $2 million. So we'll be hit with the $2 million for the beginning, and then anytime we draw, it'll be in increments of $250,000.
Okay, that's what I wanted.
Now, they do have a $6 million that they're gonna fund the remainder of the loan
on January the 15th. So, I mean, we have the option, of course, to pay everything in full, and if they fund it, of course, then we can turn right back around and pay back into the principal what, you know, we don't need. But my hope is that we'll have it all paid off by January 15th. Because, you know, we won't even have to worry about it. And, of course, I hope that we don't have to draw.
At all.
Well,
Close.
Well, we're required a $2 million.
And I'm pretty sure we're gonna
You
need
need
that,
the two,
plus
yeah.
maybe a little bit.
Okay.
But,
Hold on a second. Lanyap.
the land, yeah. We hope we won't use all that.
Yeah, but also too, that on that January the 15th, it says funded on or before January the 15th, 2019.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, I'm hoping to pay that off by January 15th.
Okay, but it doesn't give you the option then either of saying 250 or 500 or another million, whatever. It says on or before, it's gonna be a $6 million hit back in one shot.
On January 15th.
Interest bearing on top of that, but is there, if we do take care of that, you said you do have that in writing.
I do have that in writing.
Okay.
Yes, no penalty and for early prepayment, and that we could we can pay into the principal. You know, if we do have to go beyond January 15th, that we can still, we don't have to use the full $6 million, we can repay into the principal.
If it's gonna be issued a $6 million check, gonna hit the deposits at $6 million, and then we've got to take what we need or whatever, and then pay it back ASAP. So my question is we're clear, if we get to January the 15th, we might have a day, 2 days, something like that, just want to tell them what we could have of interest bearing of that $6 million.
If we get to the 15th.
And if we get to the 15th, as long as we keep that $6 million in our account.
I'm paying, until we pay it back, but what I'm saying is, I'm just being devil's advocate, I'm just saying, the worst possible case scenario.
Yeah.
But if we pay it off early, there is no fee attached.
Correct.
Okay, I'm stating that for the record, to make sure everyone understands that.
Yes.
You said when we pay it off, Rose? You said when? When we pay it.
Yeah. And that's all
Of course,
pending.
the maturity date, February, between, the first of the...
Mature date, I think it's 28th it was, 28th.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, they only figure the interest until the end of the month. Is that right?
Right, well, they take the current LIBOR
Yeah,
rate
LIBOR is
at the first.
yeah, the average, right?
Yeah, and then they figure it like on...
They do the average and issue the averages, and it's based off of that. But it's all pending on how quick Joe can get this done. It's all...
I wasn't gonna say that.
I did. Joel's in your court,
Now it's all about Joel.
Joel, ball's in your court, sir.
So we're definitely gonna be in need of this, like...
Yeah, okay.
And if this is approved today, about how long do you think it would take to finally secure?
They said they're ready to go, and they said to give probably 4 weeks to give the Attorney General time, or for them to get their approval back from the Attorney General, and then, the bond counsel,
Well,
the paperwork, and...
Yeah, the document I was provided says it's expected to happen on or shortly after the first week of November 2018. So that's their
And then it's
anticipated
contingent on the Attorney General timing
Yeah.
and approval. So-
Yeah, that's what they're sort of anticipating, so.
So, approval now would mean the money would probably not be ready until second week in November earliest, and it could be a little bit longer. And I'm just saying that to impress upon us the need, because we're gonna have a couple of payrolls between then and now.
And just roughly figuring if, and this is, I understand this is with no other revenue coming in at all, but just basing on what we had discussed before in the workshop at $350,000 a week for bills and payroll,
Payroll at 1.1?
right, well, 1.2, because it's always over 1.1, so I just rounded it up. We're looking at November the 20th, need the money before we pay the bills on November the 20th. So it's
Close window.
very close.
Barring no additional revenue. Joe?
Yeah, I just didn't even anticipate any revenue.
He keeps throwing Joel up under that.
But usually that, you know, that'll cover up the bills, so over the $350,000.
So,
So moved, Judge.
with also, do we need to cover in there any additional cost, that 8,000 coming? We know we're gonna have that cost. Because this document that was provided me is not covering that, that's covering the $8 million.
Well, I guess when it comes back to court, when the bond counsel, and I'm just assuming this, but when the bond counsel sends back the packet with the order and everything for the court to approve, I'm assuming that it's gonna have all the fees, because right now, I'm just basing it on what we've paid prior to.
We actually looked it up, and in previous years, I think, what was it, 15 or 14, we did one all the way, we started at 12. Okay. We actually looked at, there's actually 2 agenda items. This is the first one, which gets us started, and then the second one, which has the numbers. And we will have to have another agenda item on that. Is that correct?
Like when we get the paperwork back from the bond counsel and the approval from the attorney general, then that's gonna come to y'all sign that with the order from the auditor, and then we'll send it back, and that should have all the fees and everything.
So the three, and, I'm sorry, who seconds? One. Okay. 3 and 1, 1. 2. Judge, aye. 3. 4. Okay. Number 8, discussion and possible action regarding payment of bills approved by the county auditor as read by same for attested listings.
For approval on October 23rd, 2018, from the general fund, $405,211.95. Road and Bridge, $2,139.90. Mosquito control, $1,604.08. Adult probation, $4,970.10. Other funds, $1,751.05. Airport, $1,020.52, for a grand total of $416,697.60. And if I might, I'd like to point out, because of the amount of this and no specific items, some of the large amounts on this were already previously approved. So we had Spa Glass, $45,304.97. We had excess funds that had to be returned to the Texas, the TJJD, and that was over $100,000. It's just one of the end of the year bookkeeping items that if all the funds are not taken care of or used, then some of those funds have to go back to be reallocated. That was over $112,000. We paid both the guardhouse and Simulcop for the contributions that we made there, and that was $41,800. We had waste disposal fees of $10,307, and we had equipment, office furniture and equipment for replacements for JP2 of $16,076.85. So over $200,000 of that is because of these items.
I move to go ahead and pay the bills listed by the auditor.
Second. 1 and 2. 1.
Okay.
2. Aye. Judge, aye. 3. 4. Aye. Number 9, discussion and possible action regarding entering into an agreement for professional services with LaBeach Architectural Group Incorporated regarding repairs to the stonework on the front elevation of the county courthouse. Discussion will include consideration of whether construction work contemplated in LaBeach's proposed scope of work will be subcontracted by LaBeach or secured through a bid/proposal process by the county following preparation of specs by LaBeach. I spoke to Denise earlier. I think y'all probably caught some of that too. She hasn't had a chance to look over what was submitted in the agreement, so we're going to have to vote on that at a separate time anyway. The actual agreement itself.
execution of the professional services agreement, which is an extensive agreement with LaBeach. I just haven't had a chance to finish going through it. It's a 25-page contract.
So our options is to go ahead and vote on this today, or we can no action it and vote on both at a later date. We can't move forward in any practical way until that second part's done.
Yes. Both, yeah, and I would say yes, because it is a 28-page document, and it's sort of really ambiguous the way it's written, because it's not, the scope's not proposed yet, but yeah, I would say that we would get that other document, do them both at the same time.
Okay.
That would be my suggestion. You okay with that, Counselor?
Yes.
Would you have any idea what time frame you'd be looking at? Is there something we could look to put on next week's agenda, or take a couple of weeks? Or-
Yes, I've started looking at it. I'm probably gonna have to discuss with him. There are some, provisions in there that are to be determined or to be attached. So there's gonna need to be some discussion, but I would hope that I could get it done within the next week.
Okay, well then, if there's no objection from the court, we'll no action it, and, just send an email when you're ready to proceed on that, so we can get moving on that.
I will.
Number 10, discussion and possible action regarding the removal of asset 16902, a police dog training suit, and asset 18598, a level 2 drug dog vest from the sheriff's office inventory, along with several individual pieces of canine training items that do not have asset numbers. For the court's approval, these items will be donated to the Vidor Police Department newly formed canine unit. This donation is allowed under Local Government Code 263.152A4B.
Judge, Commissioners, we put this on the Commissioners Court for approval, because it was a few of the items that was county asseted. So, getting with Connie and going through the procedures in the county on how to do that, under the Local Government Code, we're allowed to transfer, equipment like that to another law enforcement agency. Since we no longer have canine, unit or units at the sheriff's office, we wanted this equipment to go to a good use, and since Vidor had just started, their canine unit, we reached out to them, Chief Tarver did, and said, this is what we got, would y'all like to have this equipment, and they most certainly did, so we're trying to do this the right way to get this equipment, donated to Vidor Police Department's canine unit.
I agree, I like that. Connie, do we need to sign any documents on any of that kind of stuff?
No, I just need to see the court minutes.
We can just transfer them over? Yeah, then I say so much, Judge.
Mayor, you cool with that? That kind of chew?
And also, our police department with the canine unit will assist the sheriff's department very much possible. Appreciate that.
And actually, I believe y'all have on occasion here recently out at our airport, so I appreciate that. Well, it's just a few different people.
Whatever you think. I think they'll take volunteers if anyone wants to put the suit on.
Well, let's see if Joel shows up with that chip in the mix.
Senate program.
We're pretty sure it works.
If you're just pretty sure, I'd like to be there for the first demonstration.
It works.
We can always get someone from here from FEMA to check out the bulletproof vest, too.
Yeah.
That was Commissioner One.
Volunteers.
If the checks in the mail, though, so we're probably doing pretty good.
We have a motion on the floor, second by 3. 1. Hey. 2. Aye. Judge, aye. 3. 4. Okay. Number 11, discussion and possible action to approve Orange County Requisition 28917, a Transcend tactical robot, and the approval of a discretionary exception in accordance with Local Government Code 262.024A7, an item that can be obtained from only one source due to items for which competition is precluded because of the existence of patents, copyrights, secret processes, or monopolies, to Transcend Tactical for the purchase of one Vantage F3 robot fully equipped in the amount of $19,050. This robot will be utilized in SWAT situations and will be made available to local law enforcement when needed. This purchase will be from the Sheriff's Office Drug Forfeiture Equitable Sharing Fund.
Technology's a wonderful thing. It's out there. You gotta pay for it. We're pretty excited about this piece of equipment. It's, to utilize in the SWAT situations, or there's actually other situations other than the SWAT that you could utilize it if you just didn't want to send a body or a person into some area to check things out, but mainly for SWAT operations to protect someone or keeping one of the SWAT officers out of harm's way. And then also protect the citizens that are there for us to be able to utilize something that we could move into an area or walk into an area to be able to allow us to gather real-time, information from a secure area that's away where no one is in harm's way. So we're, Jefferson County obviously has one. They utilize it pretty much every time their SWAT team goes out, as you're probably aware, Judge. And, we just haven't had this ability to before, and we discussed it, and we think it's time to move forward with this and better protect our guys and the citizens out there, so.
And it's not coming out of general budget, it's coming out of the drug forfeiture.
Yes, sir.
I like that, Dick, 'cause I'd rather make an insurance claim on a bullet hole on a robot than a person.
Any day of the week.
Yeah, I think the technology's pretty neat.
Yes, it is.
Technical question, and I don't mean to put anybody on the spot, it's a good thing, but things have changed a whole lot over the years. It's fully articulated robot. In other words, can it do bomb detection? I guess that, no?
Not bomb detection, but...
We could add to it,
Yeah.
There's devices we could add to it, cameras we could add to it, certain things. This one's pretty basic, it says fully loaded, but, it's very capable, it can carry a payload of 200 pounds, so we can just about mount anything on it we want.
I tell you, the only reason I ask is because obviously that's been something that local law enforcement's had to deal with, and like you were saying, a bullet hole, I'd much rather send a robot in there to deal with something that might explode too.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer to me, yeah. I mean, I'd make a motion, go ahead and approve it.
4?
6.
1? 1? 2? Aye. Judge, aye. 3? 4?
Aye.
Do we get to see the sheriff when you get it?
Sir?
Do we bring it to a demo?
Yeah, come do a demo.
We're good.
Are you all in name? Are you all in name?
Hadn't named it.
Second that motion, Judge.
Commissioner Trahan.
Okay.
Thanks, Sheriff. Digital harbor. He left on that. I mean, it's a digital harbor. Anybody left?
I told you that on the short way. Okay, number 12, discussion and possible action on a bid submitted on the following trust properties. You want to do these one at a time? I can't remember what we did last time.
We've been doing it as a group, it seems they're all good.
Yeah.
We did it as a group last week, and, again,
Is there any one in particular you got any concerns about, or are you good with us going through it as a group?
go through it as a group, get it over with.
Okay. Number 1, 002-015-001040, case A150163T, 10,008 College, Orange, Texas. Number 2, 004645.
I believe last week you said the amount of each one for the record.
Do you want, okay, I'm sorry. All right, let me rewind. 10,008 College, Orange, Texas. The amount is $600. Number 2 is 004-645-000520. Case number A150163-T, 10,005 Texas, Orange, Texas, the amount of $1,250. Number 3, 0094-120-00120, case A160016T, 8876 Hickory Bend, Orange, Texas, amount of $5,001.01. Okay.
Go figure.
Number 4, 009904-000044, Case number A150067T, 1933 Lay, am I pronouncing that correctly? Lee Road, Vider, $3,000. Number 5009913000400, case A160001T, 6658 Chevron, Orange, amount of $2,102. Number 6013905004780, case number A150074T, 2431 Smith in Orange, amount of $3,000. And number 7014802001500, case number A160083T, 6992 Lariat Loop, Orange, in the amount of $3,001.01.
You recommend? That's your recommendation?
That is my recommendation, that we go ahead and...
Somebody could have got that one. It's true.
So moved, Judge. Second.
4 and 3. Commissioner Train, do you have some questions? I saw you looking some stuff up.
Well, I noticed the one on Smith was bought by someone on that street, and then, me and Commissioner Burton here were discussing, Hickory Bend, that's Highway 62 frontage, that's a pretty good deal.
Hickory Bend is?
Hickory Bend comes off...
Yeah,
62 up north, almost to the county line.
That's where
If you get
I'm
far down Hickory Bend, you'll need a boat to get to it, but the highway side's good.
Is that particular property right on 62?
Yeah, it looks like.
Wow. Oh, Google things.
Yeah. Pulling in that.
Oh, that's a pretty good deal.
A lot of pine trees on it, so it should be pretty high. Really, you probably lock it and get your money back pretty quick.
See, when they start going online, we can have those photos right there at your fingertips. Expand it.
Right there.
Is there any other questions on these?
No.
We have a motion from 4, second by 3. 1?
Hey.
2? Aye. Judge, aye. 3? 4? Aye.
And I will give you a little extra news. Our bills will be going out, tax statements are being sent out today. So look for it in the mail.
Thanks.
Appreciate that.
We strongly encourage people to pay early and avoid the lines that inevitably form in January.
I just encourage you to pay them.
Work with me here.
I agree with the judge, yes. Payment in December would be really good. Yeah, depends on how you structure your payments, that's correct.
That's not what the county can do for you. Right there.
Number 13, discussion and possible action on approving a request by the Texas General Land Office of a 6-month extension of the temporary housing program.
Judge, Commissioners, this is the GLO is going to extend the housing program, or request permission to do so from HUD, on a temporary basis. I think it's a 6-month interval. Right now, we started out with around 600 temporary units in the county. We've only deactivated around 150 or so there's still over 400 of those out there. Jefferson County did that, and it's just a show of support for the GLO when they make their application to do so.
So moved.
Second.
1 and 3? 1? 2? Aye. Judge, aye. 3? 4?
Aye.
Number 14, discussion and possible action to reappoint or replace the county's Board of Appeals seats from precincts 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1 at-large member due to their terms expiring.
Judge, Commissioners, this was the appeals board that I think just Commissioner Burton and Commissioner Crump were on the court at that time when that was created. And basically, it was a board that set up, we put it into the NFIP order, our local order, floodplain order as well, but any department that a citizen might have issues with, instead of having to come to the court with those, they can go to this appeals board to do that. I think we've only met 2 or 3 times with that board, over the time that it's been in place for 2-3 years now.
The Stevenson Board?
Yes, sir. So anyway, it should have been appointed last year during 2017, but with all the hullabaloo with Harvey, that didn't happen, so, I emailed all of you, I believe, the, current members that are on that board, and...
Yeah, I was trying to remember everybody, everybody's the same, right? There's no...
That's the same. So it's up to the court to either reappoint those people, or in each one of your precincts, and judge at large, or appoint somebody new.
Have we talked to the current board members, are they willing to serve?
No, not all of them, and I can tell you that several of them are not. No, they don't.
Because I was wanting to, I actually talked to someone, but I have not got a response back from them yet. I want to recommend it from my perspective.
But we'll do that, we'll reach out to the ones, well, that's gonna be up to the court.
Well, and it's not imminent anyway, you don't have any pending appeals. This is just a reappointment.
Right. So, I don't expect y'all to make that decision today, just put it on the agenda to get it started, so the process is started, and, the email had all their contacts in it.
Right.
I guess it's a no action item for today.
Thanks, Joe.
How would y'all, when y'all start looking at this and we'll coordinate the names, you want to send them to Bailey? How do you want to do that? So that we can, if we do it, we can do it as a, I assume that when y'all did it before, y'all didn't do it as 5 separate agenda items appointing.
No, I think we gave it a couple of weeks and put it back on.
Yeah, we submitted them all, put them together on the list, and then approved them.
Right. Yeah, it's the way it was set up, each commissioner, for their precinct and the judge at large to make a choice.
Okay. Joe, I'm okay with the representative from precinct 1, are you gonna reach out to him again?
I can, yes, sir. And if that's, but all of you want, we can do that as well. It's up to each one of you.
Yeah, I'm same, so if Stephen wants to stay on it. Good for that.
And I'll contact mine.
And if you choose not to do that, we'll have to remove it from the court order. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Joe.
Number 15, open up court session for comments from court and citizens on items which may or may not need to be placed on the following week's agenda for consideration. Each person addressing the court may be limited to 3 minutes. Yes?
We're gonna go first.
No.
Kristen Walker with the DA's office was gonna do this, but I told her I would do it because she had an appointment to go meet with me, that was out. So October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and on Thursday, the DA's office, here in Orange County will be hosting a walk to draw awareness to domestic violence, in our area. And everyone will meet in front of the courthouse at noon on Thursday, and everyone is urged to wear purple, because that is the color for domestic
I have
violence.
it in my closet, but I'll...
Look in your Mardi Gras stuff.
Just purple? Gold would be fine.
Yeah, maybe I want to do that. That's the only way I'm...
Just purple. And,
Move beyond issue.
and they're gonna do a walk, they have a walking path that will go down Division to 5th, and then up 5th, to Front Street, to 7th Street, and back to the courthouse. So those that aren't into marathon walking, it's not a very far place to go, but, so please participate and meet us in front of the courthouse on Thursday at noon. And while I'm up here, I want to just compliment the housekeeping staff, and I wish Kurt was still here, but, I just know in our building, in our office, we have seen a big difference. Really are grateful for y'all's decision to go with county employees for that, and our lady in our office is just so pleasant, and I have seen her scrub areas of this building that have not been scrubbed in a long time, and it smells good and it looks good. So kudos for that decision.
And they actually have showed up out of precinct 1, so it's been... They had a sighting, yeah. Not bad.
Since Commissioner Crump kept attempting to push me out into the street to get thrown under the bus, we did reach out this morning to our FEMA rep about where that money is. The 2.5 it's off of the grants portal now, so it's still in that final review. They didn't give us a deadline or a date that they expect it to be done, but, Chief Kidd wanted all that completed by October 31st. I don't think that means the money's gonna be distributed by October 31st, but it's gonna be shortly thereafter, hopefully for a total of about 3.8, but the second version of that debris. Now, the force count labor monies, that deadline's not until May, so, and I think I mentioned that in court before, so that's gonna be, probably next year before that gets approved. But the other money, I think is gonna get it pretty quick, so,
And
just that,
all kidding aside, let me tell you, I appreciate what you do. I know y'all been out in the trenches working hard to get this stuff taken care of, so, but you got it done the first time, so put the ball in your court, buddy.
Thank you, Joe, yes, and I too do appreciate the work you did. I still remember.
What are the dates again for the taste?
The taste of the holidays
Yes.
at the Expo Center.
There's the taste of something.
November 13th from 5 to 8, and we are still selling limited tickets for $20 a ticket. And I happen to have a way to do that right here in this courtroom if anyone would like it.
Commissioner Guthrie, I bought 6 tickets, I'm sure you'll match that.
I'm sure I will.
Good job.
Sure I will.
Sounds like a challenge.
That was a challenge across the court.
Yeah,
I accept my challenge, but I think it ought to go court-wide.
And on behalf of Orange County Disaster Rebuild, we are very pleased that you will do that for our son.
November 13th, Tuesday.
Right, 6 tickets.
6 tickets.
Oh, I'm in town.
And if you're fortunate, actually have more friends than that, which I don't, so if you have more, you can buy more tickets than that.
Well, I have family, that's my only saving grace.
If we buy them a meal, they'll go eat it, I can tell you.
That's cheaper than a night out.
It's true, it is.
Yep.
The only thing I mentioned is that, we continue working on drainage issues, and we continue to work with the TxDOT to work on, local roads, bridges, and so forth, and we continue to do so.
How's that going, Clark? If I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, they've completed the assessments with the orange paint in 4, and...
Precinct 4, currently in Precinct 2 working.
Okay.
I think they've done just 2 days, they got rained out today. They were gonna do 3 days this week, but today's rained out, I expect tomorrow and Thursday.
I did want to add one more thing. State Highway 87 from I-10 north to the Newton County line. Previously been told by TxDOT that they were going to start the paving portion of that on October the 8th, I believe, the week of October the 8th. Obviously, that has not happened yet. So I called them back, and Monday, this coming Monday, they should be out there in full force to start that, and they actually are bringing in more labor to try to speed that up. They still anticipate finishing that up before the end of the year, so I know there's a lot of people who drive that road, they get awful interested in that because it is in pretty bad shape right now, but hopefully it's a path to a better road.
Help me out again, where exactly on 87?
Up by the high school. Everywhere.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because isn't there a section, what's going on with the Park and Bridge City?
Well,
That's another part.
Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, that's the same thing, when we met with them, we discussed that, it's the same contractor group that's doing all of it. And so as they scheduled what they're moving on, and something about the asphalt over concrete and the asphalt over old asphalt's a different heat mixture, something's what they told us, so they're gonna do 87 first, and then they're supposed to come in and complete Bridge City, because I get that phone call about 3 times a week. I'm sure, Clark, you probably get it way more than that.
and apparently rain and cold weather
It's terrible, yeah, and we can't seem to get past one or the other, and we're almost to the point that they said that if it gets, once it really gets cold, then they gotta stop all of it at that point, and then they won't be able to complete any of it till the fall, till the spring, when it starts warming up again, so, yeah.
And to add to that situation, information has it they'll be doing 105 through Viber sometime around April, that. So I don't know how that fits in with all that, but,
And like I said, the thing is, it's the same contractor that keeps getting the contract, so they're just moving their folks around, and we're struggling with that, but,
Who's doing that, do you know?
I don't know offhand, I've got it, I know it's in my car right now.
It says, we probably ought to mention that even though it hasn't been scheduled yet, there will be a comment section for Interstate 10. They're fixing to design, I don't think we even have a date, do we have a date? I don't think we have a date yet. But they will be having a comment meeting here in Orange to discuss the latest plans on Interstate 10. The last step has been kind of pre-designed, but there's still time for some changes and room for some changes, so they will have a comment section for a meeting for comments to let the citizens have some input on that process. We gave them our opinions the other day, and they seem to take them seriously. Hopefully they'll take everybody's comments seriously and make some changes, so hopefully we'll move forward with that.
I strongly encourage anyone who has an opinion about this freeway project, Interstate 10, and all the subsequent things that go with it, signage, drainage, whatever, attend, speak your mind. We can do so much, and then we have to show where people have the same interest. They're required to have the public meeting, and I'm directing all this at the press on purpose. They have to have this public meeting, it's required, and the people that own the purse strings of this are the representatives of the people. So when they hear these comments, that's the only way that you can get any kind of action done. And we're gonna need all the support we can get to get this done and get it done the way folks around here want it done.
we have a date on this public meeting?
No, we're gonna put it out as soon as they give it to us.
It's normally done at the library, and your attendance is recorded, so when you do go, they track your name and things like that, so they can move forward with this, with opinions and things.
Text out.
And your comments will become part of the record of that project.
That's right.
It's not related to the thing I got this last week.
No.
And TxDOT is Texas Department of Transportation. Just so you know.
Get the last paragraph in there at the bottom.
Anything else, any other comments?
School bus, remember this is school bus recognition week or month or whatever it may be, so I think, it's a shame you have to say something like that. The fact of it is really simple. If there's not a physical barrier, if there's not a wall, a cable system, or whatever it may be, between your side of the road and the other side of the road, and you see a bus out there, stop. If it's 5 lanes wide, if there's no physical barrier in between that, stop. Sit and just, so I mean, it's National Bus Recognition Week or month, whatever it may be, because you'd hate for those little tags to be struck by someone. And it happens all the time. I mean, people run past the school bus and it's just disgusting, so just throwing that out there.
Anything else?
Go vote.
Oh, yeah, early voting is going on right now, so.
And vote off. I think that came from someone in this room, I'm not gonna say, but I want to say that loud. Vote early, vote often. But go vote, I think we're having, right now, the largest, what I saw is that the largest turnout in years and years in a midterm election. So that's good.
Yeah, the big cities are turning out heavy, so rural needs to show up.
Okay. Number 16, discussion of possible action regarding adjourning Commissioners Court meeting.
So,
I'll second it. 1, 2, thank you. Judge, aye. 3, 4.
no guarantees.